was over at the taco place.
Alright, we're live.
And they told me I couldn't take any other adult beverages off
Nope, I'm afraid
premises
not.
to drink, so I had to switch my choice.
Oh.
But this is really good. I had it before. It was really good. So it's fine. Oh, yeah, ready?
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry about that. It's me over here napping. All right, it is 6:32, and with us this evening is Chris Hood, Kim Van Beck, Mike Robb, Patrick Knight, Michael Gary, myself, Bill Lovis, and Ben Peters. Is there anyone here this evening for open forum? We just eyeball you.
Just all look.
Yeah.
Stare down.
Okay. And we'll move on then to the consent agenda. And anyone have any questions, comments, bills, meeting minutes, anything there?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I was second.
All right. We don't need a roll call vote. Okay. Everyone in favor of the consent agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright, that's unanimous, on we go. This is gonna be a happy moment. Where's that mouse?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Patrick. Plus then I kinda do the left-handed thing anyways, but there we go, thank you, Patrick. Alright, next up, Planning Commission report, Heidi, variance resolution 2025-04.
Yes. So John came to us because he is replacing his old garage. And in replacing his old garage, he's gonna build, I was hoping to build, a new garage there and add an apartment up above. And so that would make it an ADU and not just a garage. But it's still mostly a garage, like in my eyes, my vision, it really is a garage with an apartment. That's how I see it. But in terms of its location, I mean, it is better located than the previous structure. It is in line with other garages in the area, being in the front yard like that. The height that is mentioned, his house is pretty short. So the fact that the garage is taller is not at all surprising. It would probably be taller anyway. But if you saw the diagram, it kind of looks not so bad because the house is on a hill and the garage is down the hill next to it. If you've gone by, you can see that there. Yeah, I mean, it seems, it's modest really in size. And obviously it will be better for him, and I'm certain the neighbors will be happy that his things will be inside, and he's happy that's true too. And he has an additional parking space there. And do you remember which side that was on? He said which side it was going to be on. Let's see, I think it is on the.
I don't remember what side.
Well, there is a parking space for the
Off-street.
apartment, off-street
I
parking.
believe it'd be on the east.
Was it on the side?
Just from outside out, I think it'd be on the east.
Okay.
I was gonna say west.
I was gonna say west because I was thinking like, well, the house is here and then the pad.
Fair enough.
But anyway, there is parking space for the, it's above. So it seems like fair enough.
This is like a two-stall garage?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Presumably it's got the,
It's
yeah, it
two
shows the interior.
24 feet wide, 32 feet deep.
Because you're talking about like an additional parking space, right?
Not on
That's
the
what you're
outside.
talking about?
Oh, I just meant that there will be a parking space for whoever's gonna rent outside of the garage. It will be like next to it. And I guess according to Patrick, they'll be on the east side.
No,
But we don't know.
Yeah, if I look at the drawing, it looks like it has to be on the west side, because
It
there's
does.
only 5.
Well,
It's only 5 feet, yeah.
Maybe it's a moped, I don't know. moped parking only, otherwise you can't live here. But,
Very convenient.
yeah, so that, yeah, so all in all. Yeah, well, sorry.
That's funny.
But I really, I like the idea of, you know, local person being able to do this, you know, nice and having a rental unit and just a person.
So even though they're short on it's the front setback, right?
Yeah,
The
I mean,
old
it's
garage
better,
was even
but,
closer.
Yeah.
yeah.
There was.
Okay. And it's just 20 feet high in general.
The peak, I believe,
Yeah.
is what.
So it's not a real tall.
Yeah,
That's
so
one
you
of the
can-
things at
You can
first.
see how
Yeah.
tall the house is, it's like,
Yeah, this is your typical carriage house right here.
yeah. And I think even if he didn't have the apartment, it'd probably be taller.
Bill, did you have any?
No, was that a Forest Service house at one time?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. I think that was,
Yeah, I've noticed that garage in the past being really close and really small and,
It was
I think-
needing
yeah,
improvement, okay.
I think this is a all-around improvement from what I've been looking at over the years.
Yeah, no neighbors said anything either way.
Happy Wright's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, on either side there.
And if you looked at the neighbor there, it seems like, you know, I don't know if people really say anything that way.
You two are on the planning commission, so I think, and that's any other notes on that, okay?
We put a motion to approve the bouquet variance request.
Second that?
Okay,
That's resolution 2025-04.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
See, when you get into it, you can't see that anymore.
Oh,
It's not actually on the thing.
okay. So, all in favor of resolution 2025-04?
Aye.
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 Alright, that's unanimous. Now, we'll move on to the next resolution, 2025-05, North House Conditional Use Permit.
Yeah, so that one was kind of interesting to me because, you know, so they're moving the housing for the interns to the north side into the green building. And it's kind of interesting to me because I was thinking, well, they're moving over there. They're not like it's not like an ordinary sort of rental unit or something like that, you know, because really, they're not paying rent to be there or anything. And it seemed like, in terms of what they're doing, I mean, they are living on the first floor, so I get that. But it was also kind of like thinking through, well, yeah, it's kind of just gonna be the same. I mean, it's still, the purpose and everything is the same, although, you know, Ben, you were pointing out the fact like what will happen in the future, you know, if they ever sell the property and having that residence on the first floor.
Oh, because we have the no resident stuff on the downtown? Is
Well,
that
we wanna have a
what
look,
we're
see it.
asking to?
First floor, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why they have to go
Yeah.
conditional use, because we're not saying no, but we're saying like, we wanna definitely see this before it's, for sure.
Yeah, and more specifically, I think my question was whether or not they would use this as a lodging in general beyond staff and intern housing. And the answer was no.
We're not really intending.
Yeah, for a number of reasons. One, it just is an intermission. Second of all, I think because of the nonprofit status, I don't think that's an option.
Yeah. And in terms of it really isn't.
To rent it out like a VRBO or short-term rental.
Oh, I see what you mean,
Yeah.
because they've had rental on the other side, so.
Well,
I don't-
no, it's not.
No.
Just the commercial, so that's, you're thinking rental
It's just that internal housing.
The housing
Yeah.
rental part of
Gifted.
it.
Yeah, and they can't go and rent it on the market or anything like that.
You're right.
But it's,
Well, the zoning would allow that.
The zoning would
right,
allow it.
but they're,
Would it allow it on the first floor in that zone?
Yeah,
It would.
yeah. But that, I mean, that's not what they're asking, right? So,
Right.
but it's not like we would have any way to prevent that. We actually said that we want to see that in that zone.
Yeah.
This is such a gray area, right? Our ordinance does not anticipate this specific situation very well. And so we're just trying to find the cleanest path forward, the clearest, yes, this works forward, and that this is what we think it is. And it's
Conditional
still
use.
not a perfect fit, but
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
the best we got.
yeah.
Cause our other thing is totally contained more into these few blocks here. The one that says.
What we're saying is,
no first floor
Yeah.
short stay is just this more contained.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Contained downtown section? Where does that end?
Well,
this zone is
Which I know
different.
this really isn't
Yeah.
it, but
So
Yeah.
the Highway 61 zone is different. The one you're talking about is the core downtown waterfront, which is mostly south of Highway 61. And there we've had a lot more conversations about lodging on the first floor,
Yeah.
residential use, those things. In the H61 corridor, it says you can have a structure with no commercial use on the first floor with conditional use. So that's what we're saying. And even that, it's like, well, is this commercial or not? It depends on which lens you're using to look at it, honestly. When you look at our zoning definitions, we say this use, which is clearly residential in character, is not lodging, not commercial use. So even though it's also clearly part of a business activity that's occurring. So it's this kind of a tricky middle.
okay. Well, so first I just wanted to make sure I understood where that ended, and it already ended.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
far as
yeah.
the zone goes, right.
That's
Yeah.
all I wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
And
other
then-
side of the highway where the rest of the campus is a different zone. It is the zone we're talking about,
Okay.
but this side of the highway is
Highway
a
is not.
H61
Okay.
zone.
Yeah.
And what you're really thinking about is if something, like you said, changes hands in the future, is that what you're getting at?
Well,
And
I
if
guess
this-
it's a
or would
moot
that not
point. It's,
stay with it?
it's actually moot. Mike,
Okay.
I think, just clarified that in that zone, it would be allowed regardless.
Okay, all right, so that isn't a thing either, okay.
but, yeah, and I think in terms of expanding space, I think you were saying it was only, is it one more person that's gonna be able to stay over there? Yeah,
Yeah, we're expanding it to a fifth bedroom, but the exterior of the building isn't changing at all.
right.
Is that like a patio or something you're putting out in the front?
We're putting in a little patio space in front.
I just saw the leveling
Yeah,
and,
we're just leveling putting in some pavers,
mhm.
have a little exterior kind of space for them to hang out, but we're not expanding the building or doing any demolition of the walls or making a larger footprint.
So, okay, that's just, and that's really not in particular to this project necessarily, but it's just a question the way you said that. When we do something like this, does it carry through to a new owner?
Not necessarily,
Necessarily.
depends on what the resolution says. And in this case, you're granting this to them, so I'm not sure that it would carry over to anyone else. It's only them that have this right.
Yeah.
I
We
would
have
think
to-
that would make
And now,
sense.
is that true? So is that true for all conditional uses?
It
All
depends on what you say in the
conditional
resolution is true in all conditional uses, yeah.
Okay.
You have options in any resolution to say clearly what you want the answer to that question to be too. Like, this does not carry over to the next owner, you can add that as a condition.
We should keep that thought in mind on certain things then.
Yeah, oh
I
yeah.
hadn't thought about it before, maybe you guys do, cause you,
I mean, it's
Think
come
about this
up
one.
and we've used it, on occasion, and I don't know. I think in this case, considering they can do this.
So, we have to, let's bring in a quick edit that we
Yeah.
have to make for this resolution. Because we've used Greg Wright personally in the resolution as he signed the application, but he's not the applicant. North House Folk School is the applicant. So everything in here that says Greg Wright needs to say North House Folk School. That's first change. And then we go to the final, be it further resolved, and it says that, and I'm gonna read it as edited, the North House Folk School conditional use permit to provide living space for participants in the intern program at North House Folk School on the first floor of a property is hereby approved. And so that's what you've approved, everything that's included in that statement. So if any of those things are not true anymore, you didn't approve that.
Got
If
it.
it's not for an intern program, you didn't approve it.
Sure.
If it's not for North House, you didn't approve it.
I'll put a motion to approve resolution 2025-05 with said edits.
And I will second.
Okay. All in favor of resolution? Any comments or questions, Bill? Sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
No, I think it's a reasonable change.
It's not substitute.
Okay. Back to voting. Resolution 2025-05, North House conditional use permit, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I believe that's unanimous. All right, we have no liquor store update. So moving right along to council and staff reports.
I got nothing.
Nothing?
I had that.
All right. Ben?
No, except for HR, but I think we were gonna cover that, maybe it's not on this agenda, so maybe
Yeah,
next.
yeah, Rovina, had trouble getting
No problem.
the data.
So maybe we'll
Thursday
just
was a holiday and
Yeah, we'll
whatever. Yeah, so we
talk
said
about
we,
that next week, the
Yeah.
next meeting.
next meeting.
Yeah, I have nothing. But, yeah, I have a question, you know, about the website hours for the municipal building too. People are asking me, you know, do I know the hours? You know, just working up the hospital, visitors, staff, vendors,
Right, when does that front door open?
yeah,
That's the question.
and how late do they stay open?
So originally, the answer was, it's open whenever the liquor store or city hall is open, which typically means 8 to 8 or so during the week, and then 9 or 10 to 10 in the weekend, and on, it was noon, but it's 11 to 6 on Sunday. So we've since edited that a bit. We have our summer staff on now, which means that we have a cleaning crew coming in here first thing in the morning when they start at 8. And so it opens at 8 every day. And I'm pretty sure that's the question most people were interested in, is when is it open? Because there was a few times where it opened a lot later than they expected. In terms of when does it close, answer's the same. When the liquor store closes, those front doors close. So,
That's the liquor, what was the final on the liquor store hours? Did you say 11 to 6 for Sundays?
11 to 6 for Sundays. But it's 8 to 6 on Sundays is when those doors are open.
Is that because the liquor store staff lock the door?
Yeah. Because we definitely want that door locked at some point in the night. And that's the last time we've got anybody here to do it. So if we
They
wanted
can't
it to
put
be
on
later,
timers. They can't be
then
put on timers or anything like that?
we could do it with a lot more investment. And if we decide this isn't working, we'll look at that.
Sure. 6 just seems early on Sunday, you know, to close the public restrooms.
Yeah.
Just I mean, just seems early.
And then the evening hours for closing? So we know Sunday, what's Saturday?
Is that 10?
9,
9?
I'm looking at what we've posted.
I think they went to 9 o'clock on Saturdays and Fridays.
I thought.
Friday and Saturday is 9.
No. Okay.
Monday through Thursday is 8. Sunday is 6.
Alright, thanks. Anything else?
No, that's,
Okay. Had an EDA meeting, we approved on the committee brought, and we approved a grant for the Mayhew development of roughly $21,725. That's for some of the building and infrastructure type, sort of below ground kind of work. The last lot up at the business park has been sold to Chris Gildem, Vesta Unchained, so that brings the end to business lot sales. And now we just have to work through some of the finishing items before the EDA can disconnect from that, which includes stormwater management and all construction that's required of the businesses, which is not done. And there's other items too for the EDA, but that'll come shortly. That was it for meetings. I do have a question and a request for all of you. There is an organizational event happening July 5th, Saturday, and it's across the borders. I mean, not all, but a majority of the border, U.S.-Canadian borders, an outreach on both sides. There'll be a walk from the state park over to the border. There, as I said, they're inviting people from both sides and just a welcoming, pleasantries, good neighbors, that kind of
so
thing.
which side will we
Continued
be on?
friendship. Pardon me?
Which side will we be on? Are we meeting on the bridge? Like,
Yeah, I don't know how far we'd actually get to go.
Okay.
You're right. We'll, it'll be so far, like.
Yeah, not too close.
And they're gonna have Canadian flags and whatever. But I've been asked in role as mayor to just give a few words. So has the mayor of Thunder Bay. And just wanted to ask the
Nice.
council's okay or not to do that. And if I may not actually be available, if so, they just wanted a few words they would read. I just have to check schedules, but that's my question to the council. That would be an okay thing.
I think that'd be okay. Yeah. I won't be able to go myself.
Okay.
I'll be out of town. But
Anyone else have any thoughts on that?
A goodwill ambassador? Sounds good.
Yeah, because, at this level, to me, nothing should be political. But these are our neighbors. They have been forever. And we, our economies and just everything, so,
they do come here.
I think it
They do
matters.
spend.
yeah, so, all right,
Thanks for doing that.
sure. Yeah, that's all I had. Off to League of Minnesota Cities Conference.
Woo! Are you biking? I'll make it.
Better keep going.
I should bring my bike.
Huh? Where exactly is it?
Duluth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's at the deck.
Nice.
Yeah, it should be,
Thanks, everybody.
yep, thank you. Looking forward to
Thanks, Chris.
chatting with a bunch of people. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Night.